Hi, guys. Hi, everyone. I'm so thrilled to be here with you tonight, just mildly terrified. It just started 30 seconds ago. So here we go. Question for the audience, show of hands. Does anyone in here identify as a people pleaser? Okay, a few of us. Okay, I get it. So all throughout my early life, I did what I was told. I tried to please everyone. I wanted to be helpful, I wanted to be supportive, but most importantly, I wanted to make my family proud. Now, if you look up the definition of people pleaser, it's somebody who cares deeply what others think of them and go to great lengths to please others. Oftentimes, they have a really tough time saying no, setting boundaries, and prioritizing their own needs. That certainly was my story. But what I've found is there's a much more helpful sort of cousin to the people pleaser, and that's the helper. They're very similar, but they come from different places. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the differences tonight. I grew up in a really small town on the Ohio River near Louisville, Kentucky, as you may be able to tell. The same small town where my parents met when they were 18, got married, and quickly had my sister, then me. I come from very humble beginnings, though my parents taught me to be a high achiever. They said, study hard, Britni, get good grades, go away to school, get your degree, and get out of here. And I did all of that and more just to please my parents. I did what I was told most of the time. I always tried to copy and do what others did. I joined swimming and theater because my big sister did. I ran cross country and track because a teacher told me I'd be good at it, so I did. Also, I hate running. So I found, though, later in life that you don't have to do anything you hate doing just because someone tells you you should or society tells you you should. I got involved in student government. I was president of my class, a member of National Honor Society, and on, because that's what good kids do, right? I was friends with the popular girls, although I wasn't the popular girl. I tried to do and be everything they wanted me to be, but it wasn't really me. I was this sweet, sometimes sassy, Southern Britni who was determined to be the good kid. And that would make me happy because all of them were happy. Right? But as I look back on those younger years, I wasn't showing up as myself, the real me. But I realize now that I hadn't even met her yet. But one thing that I do know to be true is that I love to help and support other people, which is far different than being a people pleaser. So when I was 18, I helped my friend deliver her baby. Yeah, you heard that right. 18-year-old Britni in the delivery room holding my girl's knee up while she delivered her child. And it was terrifying. It was, a miracle, the miracle of childbirth, of course, but truly terrifying. But when I'm your friend, I'm going to help you through it all. Now, another side note, my mom swears that is the reason I chose not to have children. But more on that in a little bit. So I took off for college. I went to Purdue, partially because they offered the major. I wanted, yes, boiler up, thank you. Partially because they offered the major I wanted, but mostly because it was so far away from where I grew up. I wanted to start a new life, time to be a newbie. So the sweet, sassy Southern Britni went up to West Lafayette with my sights set on a career in fashion. I wanted to be like Rachel from Friends, a buyer for a big fashion house, living life in the big city. I remember it like it was yesterday. One of my big first presentations in class, some guy called me a hillbilly in front of the entire class. I know, first of all, rude and marginally hurtful, but second of all, the guy was from Chicago, so you, sir, also have an accent. At that point, the sweet, sassy Southern Britni was emerging as strong, sassy, still, Southern Britni. I enrolled in a study abroad program to continue to push myself outside of my comfort zone and further away from the town I was from, probably the furthest away I could get. I spent a summer semester in Australia. Through the program, I had an internship that dreams were made of. I worked for the Australian equivalent of GQ and worked for some of the world's biggest fashion brands like Hermes, Louis Vuitton, Gucci. I remember inventorying items I could hold like in the palm of my hand that cost so much more than my car. It was wild. I found myself working on a cover shoot with the top Aussie rugby player at the time, partying with new friends on the Gold Coast, thinking like, what is my life right now? So fun. We had a big party for the magazine, a big anniversary party, and I was there. And I remember looking over at a group of people that were just randomly doing cocaine. And then the realization hit. I'm like, this is not for me. This is not who I am. This is not my story. As you see, a people pleaser would have probably just rolled up and joined them. Yeah, that was supposed to be a joke, like doing cocaine? Okay. Not a lot of Coke fans in here. Got it. Perfect. Cool. Me too. Same. So, all good. Anyway, I finished the program, came home, graduated, and started a new job, determined to be the real me. I remember when I first started at this company thinking, like, how can I best help and serve these people? After all, that's what I was hired to do. And again, being a helper is far different than being a people pleaser. I wasn't helping because I wanted them to desperately like me, and I wasn't willing to change who I was just to please them. I was showing up as myself, ready to help, ready to serve. And I want to be clear, I think that being a helper means sometimes you have to say no. It means sometimes you have to have really different, courageous conversations, and sometimes say and do things that people don't want to hear or don't like. It means not feeling guilty when your story doesn't align with what others think or society thinks you should do. Now, pretty quickly at that new job, I got promoted because it turns out being a helper is a good thing, and I was happy to be me, although I found that some people don't cheer or clap for your success, which is okay too, because the worst thing I could do would be abandon the real me and go back to being the people pleaser I was. Because, what do I say? Sometimes you gotta let your haters be your motivators. And it turns out that people pleasing in comparison really is the thief of joy. As I found when I'm true to myself as this strong, sassy Southern woman, I can help lift others up while I climb. I can help hold the mirror in front of them to show them how uniquely great they are. I don't tell them who they need to be. I know now with bold confidence that my greatest strength, and I think yours as well, is being confident in who I am and true to myself. Because thank you, right? Love that. I think that we can all rise above the noise of what other people in society think that we should be to stand tall in our own unique story. Because the more we can be ourselves, the better we are at serving others, which is what life and business is all about. So, I stand here today on this stage with my girls up there, proud to say that I worked my way and helped my way to becoming the Chief Marketing Officer at the MJ Companies. Thank you.